Theatre of beans.
How many goals have they scored from that? Hardly any.
It doesn't matter.
It does
people
matter.
to put Iwobi in their starting lineup for fans. Hello everyone. Sorry we're late. We did start pre-season for our soccer club the other day, and one of the hosts, his body kind of gave up on him, and he was a little bit under the weather the other day. But not to worry, we are here. We're back, the post-week show for game week 11. PlayStation off, kids into bed. With me, as always, is Stuart.
Hello.
We're going to review game week 11. The first game was Burnley versus Everton. It was a 1-1 draw. I think Everton, at times they seemed like a prime Barca in this game, but then at times they were just really predictable and their passing was extremely average, and Burnley capitalised. I think Burnley, Robbie Brady, yeah, he was great all game. Very underrated. His dribbling was great. Not much to say. I think both England keepers had great games respectively. I think both teams could have won. It was a fair result. Iwobi was my man of the match. He was great going forward, especially.
I said that Everton's defence is very bad and shouldn't have conceded 2 leads last week. And I did predict that draw. Pretty much everything I said was bang on accurate. Good goal from Dominic Calvert-Lewin once again, linking up with Richarlison. Iwobi, as you say, is really stepping up in that right mid/right wing back role for Everton. However, another careless defensive error conceded by Everton for giving Robbie Brady too much space. In this multi, I won 2 out of 3 legs. It was a draw, one that Chris Wood, anytime goal scorer, and yes to both teams to score. On to the next one.
Next one was City versus Fulham. City winning 2-0. City didn't break a sweat the whole game. They were running with real ease. De Bruyne flicked the switch this week. He was pulling the strings as we would expect. I think Fulham were successful in not playing the ball out like they tried to. Then they couldn't get City through City's press. But they were looking long to Lookman, but still there was nothing going on. It honestly could have been 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Could have been a lot of goals for City. De Bruyne was my man of the match.
I said I was shocked to see if Fulham would do anything in this game, and I was once again correct. 2-0, City, 69% possession, 712 accurate passes to only 274. Absolute domination. Sterling and Kevin De Bruyne both looking very much back in form, and Lookman, Scott Parker playing Lookman as a striker. That is not where he plays. He plays on that left wing role. Poor decision, really looked out of his depth. The 3 multis, the same leg multi I had was Man City to win, over 2.5 goals, which I lost, and Riyad Mahrez, anytime goal scorer. I did say that Mahrez would be contained quite a bit, leaving Sterling to give a bit more room, and I was absolutely correct with that. Sterling did score, very happy. On to the next one.
We had West Ham versus Manchester United. United winning 3-1. Now, a quick stat. Bruno Fernandes has been, since January, I think he's played 36 games. He's been directly involved in 38 goals. That's an insane stat. West Ham scored first, but that ball from Henderson, it went out. I don't know if the VAR should have checked that. I think VAR should check those things. It was clearly out. You don't need lines to see what happened. That got played forward, and United ended up scoring 3 quick goals, and the game changed, and they won. Bruno was my man of the match after 45 minutes. I think he came on at halftime. He changed the game.
Very good win by United. They did dominate a bit of the game, pretty much towards that second half. But you do need Benrahma to start in these games with Haller up front. Fornals is too slow, and they do try and play up the middle, and Haller isn't a hold-up striker. He is a cross-into, such as Giroud. It did not work out. I had draw, which I lost. I had yes to both teams to score, and I had Seb Haller to have 1 or more shots on target. He didn't even register 1. On to the next one.
Chelsea versus Leeds. Chelsea winning 3-1. Leeds couldn't hold Chelsea. It was a great start for Leeds. Calvin Phillips G'ing up, playing an amazing ball. I think it was the Bamford who finished well, past the keeper. Giroud scored forward midweek, and he was rewarded with a start. I think he played well. He didn't disappoint. Chelsea scored 3 deserved goals. I think Reece James was immense again. He stepped up, and Werner could have had a hat trick. But again, I think you were saying last time around that he was playing well, but he really wasn't cutting edge in the final third. I think he'll come good very soon. And it's also an interesting debate over Reece James versus Trent Alexander-Arnold. Who deserves that right back in the England spot? For me, it's Reece James at the moment. Even though Trent hasn't been playing, I think he deserves it. I think he needs an opportunity in the squad. You can look at stats, but then you can also look at systems, how Chelsea play, how Liverpool play. It's an interesting debate. Reece James was my man of the match.
Although Leeds did have more possession, Chelsea did press high this game, which did expose Leeds and created too many chances against kind of average and defensively lacking Leeds side. Bamford scored again. Really rate him. He fits so well in that system under Bielsa. You have to keep Giroud in this lineup. He is much more dangerous on the end of these Reece James crosses than anything Tammy Abraham has shown us. I had draw, I had over 2.5 goals, and I was right in my prediction on Patrick Bamford, anytime goal scorer. On to the next one.
We had West Brom versus Crystal Palace. Palace winning 5-1. Well done, Palace. I actually came up with a good joke while I was watching the game. Yeah, you like Stu. You know how you keep calling Palace trash? Well, it's Christian Benteke. It's not Benteke, it's Binteke. Even though he scored 2 goals, they did well. Palace actually haven't won a game this season with more than 50% possession. This was their first win. But it's all about the VAR again. What a stupid red card. Like, it's all about the headlines for VAR. The ability for high power to control the story, control the narrative. It's just so apparent. It's a lot of shit. I should have backed Palace to the win. They were just playing with West Brom after the red card. Zaha and Eze were really in the mood. Zaha was my man of the match.
I'm essentially eating my words right now in terms of what I said last week. I have 4 points that I brought to the pre-week show, and here they are. West Brom continues their form. No. Pereira steps up again. No.
Got sent off.
Crystal look useless up front against Newcastle. Scores 5. Eze needs to prove himself.
He did.
Yeah. Benteke stepping up, huge. I reckon he starts. I reckon he starts for. He does a lot. He gets a lot of. Whenever he does play, he's in a lot of these chances created.
He gets in good positions.
He does get in really good positions. Although he isn't at the caliber of someone like Zaha, and they do probably need a better striker, I'd much rather start Benteke over someone like Batshuayi. But in my opinion, they do not score 5 if Pereira doesn't go off, and that completely changed the game. I had West Brom to win, lost that. I had both teams to score, no, lost that. And Eze to have 1 or more shots on target, didn't even get 1. On to the next one.
Sheffield versus Leicester. Leicester winning 2-1. Both teams played pretty well. Leicester just got over the line. The 90th minute, I think, classic Jamie Vardy. I think he is the best one-on-one striker in the Premier League. I think you back him every time to score those. I think Leicester kind of deserved to win. They hit the post multiple times. They were creating a lot more chances than Sheffield. Ollie McBurney with a solid header rising above the Leicester defence. But again, Leicester deserved it. Tough 3 points, good 3 points. James Maddison was my man of the match.
McBurney. Really back him. Aerial machine. Scored. I don't even have to do my legs, which are players to have 1 or more shots on target. I'm going to say anytime goal scorer, Olivia McBurney now. Vardy as well, as you say, he is proving at 32 to 33 years of age that he is one of the most consistent strikers in the league that we have seen in the past decade. That is another debate. Rooney or Vardy, but we're not going to get into that. I am very much Team Vardy. In my multis, I had Leicester to win. I won that. Ollie McBurney to have 1 or more shots on target, and both teams to score. No. Didn't think Sheffield would score, but I'm pleasantly surprised now. I do think Sheffield get a few more points coming to this congested break, capitalising on teams with a bad schedule, and they will be more tired. Just cross it straight into that big man's forehead. McBurney all for the win. On to the next one.
The big one, Spurs versus Arsenal. With all my heart, I wanted Arsenal to win. I miss Arsenal. I miss the 2010 to 2015, like the first season that Alexis Sanchez got there, and before earlier then. They were great to watch. I miss them. It's a shame. I kind of knew that Spurs would win. It was a bit of a stretch calling Arsenal to win. Arsenal committing too many numbers forward too many times, and the boys up top for Spurs just capitalised. They're too lethal, and they were efficient as well. I didn't think that they had too many shots on target, Spurs, but yeah, efficiency was the story. I think Arsenal's coming out of the second half, they had a few good chances. Their final third play was a bit better than there has been in the previous weeks, but it's the same story again, just not being able to finish. Spurs go top. Kane, with his 11th goal in this fixture, he becomes the person with the highest amount of goals in the fixture, Spurs versus Arsenal. And yeah, Emil Højbjerg was my man of the match.
I'll put this into context for everyone. First minute of the game, it's kickoff. Lacazette has the ball, and then he kicks it out of bounds. That was our first pass of the fucking game. He kicked it out of bounds. That's essentially all I have to say about this bullshit. However, I was reading on Thomas Partey's Instagram a couple days ago, and it does reaffirm my idea that Arteta still has the locker room. This is a much bigger problem than that of players and confidence in someone like Arteta. I reckon this is now a January issue, and you definitely need someone creative coming into the side, and we'll have to see and evaluate what happens then. However, it is a good win from Tottenham. Tottenham to win. Harry Kane, anytime goal scorer. God, I've been psychic this week with the anytime goal scorers. And over 2.5 goals, 2-0. Of course, you couldn't give me a fucking win, Tottenham. On to the next one.
Liverpool against Wolves. Liverpool winning 4-0. Liverpool move on the same points as Spurs, just underneath on goal difference. Kelleher again was selected over Adrian, preferred by Jurgen Klopp. He's been playing really well, so made some great saves in this game and in midweek. It was a pretty even first half, like lots of half chances, but Liverpool really shone in the second half, putting away the goals. Finally, a decent performance, even though it was for 45 minutes. Trent playing, he played really well. Not too many deficiencies at the back for Liverpool. Solid win, solid 3 points. Was reassuring for the fans at least. Salah was my man of the match.
Completely wrong once again with all of the things that I've said. This was my big call of the week, thinking that Wolves were going to do something in this game. Absolutely wrong. No Jimenez, no party. Liverpool looking like that of their performances of last year. Trent also coming back into the side and putting in a few crosses, coming on, I think it was like the 70th minute or something. But it's good to have him back. He creates so much more of that dynamic offensive options for Liverpool, and should have been his assist. Mane should have just directly put it away. Trent should have had that assist. I had Wolves to win, lost that. Under 2.5 goals, lost that. And Fabio Silva to have one or more shots on target, lost that. On to the next one.
Brighton against Southampton. Southampton winning 2-1. The South Coast Derby. Brighton, it was a clear handball by Ward-Prowse. Don't know what he was doing with his hand. Vestergaard with a purling header. And then, what the actual fuck was that VAR call? Like, I don't know if you saw the photo, but the first contact between both players was clearly outside the box. Like, it was half a meter outside the box, and they call it. I'm convinced that there's some kind of VAR conspiracy going on. Like, seriously, have you seen Dermot Gallagher at halftime, the ex-referee, justifying the VAR's decisions? He's emotionless. He shows no emotion. He's a programmable robot by the FA. It's ridiculous. He compared that Mateus Pereira red card to Son's red card last year. Son literally went up and kicked his chest. Mateus Pereira had his legs in the air. There was nothing. He compared this is what happened last season with Son. It's like the VAR now, it can change the narrative. Like, there's so much ability for a higher power. Like, what is the motivation? Is it headlines? Is it certain teams that they want to win, or is it the highest bidder? Are teams
Is Southampton
donating to the cause? Yeah, Southampton they're doing well. What are they, like, top 5, top 6?
Are they paying them off though to get these VAR
they could
calls?
They could be. You know, it's been ridiculous. Like, there's so much potential for there to be, scheduled rigged games. I'm not saying anything. If this video gets taken off by the FA, it is true,
They try-
confirmed.
They
I
try-
don't want to get sued for defamation, so it's all speculation. I'm not saying anything, but yeah. Anyway, Ing scored the penalty, and Oriol Romeu was my man of the match.
Mate, if our YouTube channel gets taken down because of fucking the FA.
I know.
Oh, hang on. These two kids from Melbourne, they're onto something. Good to have Danny Ings back scoring again. That helps my fantasy no end. And Malpai dropped is quite interesting. I don't know where he's going to fit in the coming weeks because he's just been very much below par. Was he dropped? I could have sworn he was dropped. I'm trying to think who played striker. Checking now. Yeah, Connolly. That's what I was thinking. But Connolly's just bang on average.
Yeah.
Yeah. They dragged him off in the 64-minute and bought him Malpai, but I mean, like, Malpai did nothing as well. Chances created 1. Accurate passes 4. Only had 1 shot. Horrible. I just don't see him in that side. What are we at? I had Southampton win. I want it. Che Adams, anytime goal scorer. Ings doesn't come on. I get the penalty with Che Adams. I win this multi. Pretty disappointing from me. And both teams to score yes. Now we have the fun time of the week. The 3 players that you should have bought into your fantasy. And the first one, Jack Harrison. Has been one of Leeds' most consistent players this year until you say bring him into the fantasy side and then he does absolutely fuck all. Reece James had him in his back pocket all game. Useless. Lost the ball 4 times. Had only 1 shot, not even on target, and was absolutely contained by Reece James. The second, Raheem Sterling. Your boy's a psychic. He sees KDB coming back into form. He says, you know what? Bring back Raheem Sterling into your side. You know what he does? He scores. 1 goal, 3 shots on target, 2 completed dribbles. He showed up, and everything that I said came off. Mahrez was... what did I say about Mahrez? A lot of pressure on Mahrez. Opened up for Sterling. There you go. 3 shots on target, 1 goal. I also had Bale. 78 minutes, 1 key pass, 1 accurate cross, 1 completed dribble. I'm pretty happy with the Sterling one, though. I'll take that.
Well, that's it for Game Week 11. We'll be back next week for Game Week 12.